How you doing? This is Craig Smith with the Craig Trader Show. Thank you for tuning in today. We got a very important topic going on today. The reason I stuck this sign up, and I'm going to do it again just for a moment. See that? Banks no, stocks yes. Today's topic is very important, and it's why you should keep your money in a stock account or an investment account versus a bank account. Very important key. A lot of us, we grew up learning about keeping our money in a stock, a bank account, savings account. As we save, we put it in a savings account. Well, we're not earning hardly anything off that savings account. And this show is kind of designed to let you know that the banking industry is not really that good for you. The banking industry is not your friend. The way we were taught in school, we were miseducated. We were taught to save, work, save, not necessarily invest, or maybe just to invest in a certain type of investment account without having any knowledge of what we were investing in, or a mutual fund or an index fund. But maybe that wasn't explained to us. So one of the purposes of this channel is to spread some education about finances, about how to grow your wealth, about learning how to invest your own money into stocks and into different investment vehicles that will help you to grow your wealth on your own, where you're in control and not somebody else. That sounds good, right? Sure does. Excellent. Now, as we talk about this today, I want to just share some things about the banking industry, share some things about the stock market, because I know a lot of people, as you begin to get into the stock market, you have some fears. Some of you say, well, you can lose your money in the stock market. That you can, but the fact that losing your money or not being insured, that's a common myth many people don't understand. Your money is insured in the stock market or in your brokerage account just as if it was insured in your savings account or your bank account. And also, your return on your money in stocks historically is much, much greater than it is in a bank account. That usually isn't explained to the average person. I told a friend of mine about that a couple of weeks ago, and he said, man, if I had understood that when I was younger, I could have been so much farther ahead. Well, yeah, we all could have been so much farther ahead if someone had explained that to us, or if we knew. But like many of you, I didn't have a mentor in this. I had to learn. I had to grow. I actually have a background in finance when it comes to my education. I have a degree in finance, but I never went to work for the financial industry because I got caught up in the real estate boom and started doing some rehabbing and investing and flipping houses. And that turned out great for a while until, of course, you know, the real estate industry had its setbacks and cave-ins and things like that. But that's another story for another time. However, I rediscovered the stock market, came into that, began to really get serious about investing in it, learning more about it, learning how to track investments, learning how to research different stocks, learning what the trends are, how to recognize trends. You can produce so much more of a return by investing your money than just putting it in a bank account and letting it just sit there. You're losing money when you do that. You're actually losing because of the opportunity cost, is what we would call it in business terms. So your money sitting in a bank account compared to you putting it in an investment account, you're actually losing money because you're losing the opportunity to grow that money at a much greater rate. And I'm just going to show you an instance or an example of this. Now, compared to average savings or bank savings account, I looked it up, and the average bank account savings rate is 0.09%. 0.09%. That is horrible. Okay, the average return of the stock market, or the S&P 500, which is an index benchmark for the stock market, has been 10% a year since the inception or the beginning of the stock market. So that includes everything: the crashes, the stock market crashes, the booms, the busts, the dot-com bubble, the Great Depression, everything included, your money over time, or family's money, would have still earned an average of 10% per year, compared to 0.09% is what they're paying now. And because of what we're going through with the economies and the pandemic, there are some countries that are actually even paying a negative interest rate. Now, if you don't understand that, the banking industry is not your friend. A negative interest rate actually means that you will pay the bank to keep your money in there. They don't pay you interest. Those people are paying the bank to have a bank account. It's absurd. Anyway, we get back to this now. When you understand that if you have $1,000, we'll just say $1,000 invested in a savings account at a 0.09% rate, do you know what that return is? Well, I calculate, of course. Your return after a year would be 90 cents. 90 cents. So at the end of the year, you would have $1,000 plus 90 cents. As compared to over here in the stock market, your average return at the end of the year, you would at least have your $1,000 plus $100, which is 10% of 1,000. So your money grew, and in comparison, it's really looking like this. That compared to that died, and I just drew those lines there. But if you can see the difference, so you'd have $1,100 in the stock account or brokerage account compared to $1,000 plus 90 cents. 90 cents, really? Okay, that's no money. Okay, so you're actually losing money when you keep your money in a savings account. And the reason I'm talking about this, because I've heard a lot of people say, well, I have my money in a savings account, I have my money in a passbook account, I have my money in a CD account. All of those things are terrible investment vehicles. Maybe it's somewhere to store money, but it's terrible in terms of making money on top of your money. That's why it's much better to get into the stock market, put your money to work so that your money can continue to grow and grow at a much, much faster and greater rate. So much so that eventually the return will begin to return money on itself and will even produce income. You have stocks that are dividend paying stocks. You have and a lot of companies pay dividends 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% a year just for owning the stock. So you would earn that dividend, that 5% per year dividend, on top of the stock going up in value. So the total return is even greater than that. So the worst case scenario is, even if you put most of that money into one stock that earns a dividend and the stock grows a little bit, say 10%, plus the 5% dividend, where you got a total return of 15% compared to 90 cents in the bank account. So that's why I don't use bank accounts very much. I only have a bank account personally for myself to be able to use it to open up other stock accounts, different things like that, because usually they want some kind of major bank for you to open up certain accounts and things like that. Or if, for instance, you may want to transfer some money out of it into a brokerage account, or maybe just, I just keep like a couple of $100 in it just to leave the account open and use it to transfer money. I keep all of my money basically in investments, brokerage account, stock account, cryptocurrencies, because I want most of my money working hard, or at least as hard as I do. Which I'd work hard because I basically do a lot of research and investing, but it's not like I have to go work hard all the time to go out and make some money, because I'm at a point where I'm letting my investments work for me, and I'm making investment decisions that will create an income for me on a daily or weekly basis, however you want to do it. Some people call it day trading. I don't necessarily day trade. I'm more of a momentum trader, a swing trader. I look for opportunities. And so if I can make that money in a day, fine. If I leave the investment in there for a few days and then I pull it out on a Friday or whatever and make that income, or just I have some investments I just let it sit and grow over the long term. And so that's the way I like to do it, combination of things. If you follow my work, CRAIGTRADER.com. If you haven't subscribed to my free email newsletter, you can go to CRAIGTRADER.com. The link is down below in the section down below. Also, leave comments if you want to know about certain content. You're just getting into stocks, certain things you want to learn. Leave some comments. Leave some topics you may want to learn about, and I'll speak on those topics. Also, there's links down there for opening up brokerage accounts. So look through the links below. I like Stash to begin with, Robinhood account. I do a lot of trading and investing out of my E-Trade account. I have a link for that. By you using those links, you'll end up getting a bonus, and I'll also end up receiving a bonus also. So I can appreciate that, and you'll appreciate that as we go along. Now, if you think about what we just talked about as far as the return on money in the stock market, that average of 10% just really is an average. So you have some years where the stock market may be in a bull market, so it might be a little negative. It might be 2%. Sometimes the market's in what we call a bull market. Our stock market has been in pretty much a bull market since the crash of 2008. So we're talking about a very long bull market where it has been steadily pretty much going up. It has had some pullbacks, but it's been steadily going up. And we're talking about, like last year, 2020, the S&P 500 actually returned 18.4%, so almost 20% on that particular market, S&P 500. That is almost twice the average. And so you can see your money even increase a great deal after that. Now, another thing I wanted to mention to you is, and you don't have to take my word for it, if you will look up an investment calculator, this is a very, very important tool. An investment calculator allows you to play with numbers. And as you know, numbers don't lie. We can talk to you, someone can talk to you, tell you something, but if you plug the numbers in yourself, there's something called time value of money. And what that does is it allows you to earn a certain amount of money on top of a certain amount of interest over a certain amount of time. So if we take that same example of the $1,000 at 10%, we know at the end of the year that was $1,100. But if you take that and say invest that same $1,000 on over 10-year period, and say we'll plug some numbers in, and over a 10-year period of a return of 10%, average 10% a year. And I like to use an investment calculator. You can find one online. I found this one here, investment calculator, at calculator.net. Sometimes I like to use the Dave Ramsey investment calculator. But these are very important tools into making a plan, because you have to kind of plan what your goal is, how much with the income that you earn, how much money can you actually invest and make over time. And it gives you a good picture, an idea of the goal. Are you going to reach your goal? Are you going to achieve what you're trying to achieve? So it's very important to look at this. If we look at the starting point of $1,000 and say we're going to invest that $1,000 over a period of 10 years at an interest rate of 10%, and I just put in here in this particular investment calculator, putting in an additional into the stock market $100 a month. So you may wonder, well, over time you would think 10 over 10 years, if I have $1,000 in there and I'm putting in $100 a month over 10 years, so over 10 years that $100 per month would be $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month, and you started with 1,000, so that's 12,000 you're putting in over 10 years, plus another 1,000 is about 13,000. But you would say, so at the 10%, You'd say, well, maybe the money I end up with is 13, 14, 15,000. Now, the time value of money works so much. It's called compound interest rate. So your money is compounding. So while you're investing, while that money is growing, you're putting more money in, and that money is growing on top of the money. So with it compounding, the ending balance of that money, you may think 13, 14, $15,000. No, over that 10-year period, just at that smaller amount, the ending balance is $22,580. $22,580 by investing that money in that manner. Whereas if you had put that money in a savings account and saved it, you would actually probably have somewhere around 13, no more than 13.5 or something like that. So it's a big difference where you put your money over time as to where and how you're going to end up financially. And that's part of why I do this. I have a passion for this. I have a passion for investing. I have a passion for being able to try to teach others how to do it, what to do. If you follow my work, my free email newsletter, I give stock tips, alerts, investments as to what I'm doing, what I'm invested in. I have a model portfolio that I also share with my email subscribers. So please join me on the journey. Get in there, like, subscribe this video, please share it. Also, please let others know about the video. I'm really trying to get as many subscribers as I can on, and that's why I do it for free, because I really have a passion to teach this and let others learn about it. I think the more we become wealthy and help one another, we can help others, we can achieve our goals. The society, the world, our country, which greatly needs it, would be in a much better place, and our communities would be in a much better place. We'd be able to do a lot more for our community. So hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, please share it, and I really appreciate you. And remember this, you can't win the game if you're not in the game. So get in the game, play to win, but also stay focused, stay positive, stay blessed. Until we meet again, have a great day.